Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. I know Tablemon on Sunday is really weird, but we are counting down to Worlds. There's like 12 days left, I believe, for Worlds for day 1. So I'm really excited and we want to close out the Road to TCG Worlds 2017 series with a golden ribbon. So yeah, if you enjoy the series, why don't you leave a like? It really helps out the channel and really helps out the videos. And today we're not featuring a deck based around the new GX from the new set, but we are complementing an existing deck, which is Volcanion, with the new Ho-Oh GX. So Ho-Oh GX is really good because it has 190 HP, which is 10 over Volcanion, same HP as Turtonator. However, it does have a lightning weakness and not a water type weakness. So that's really good when you're playing against Ninetales, when you're playing against Greninja. I might give it a fighting chance, though I'm not entirely too sure if it's enough. But Ho-Oh GX also has other advantages. Sacred Fire, dealing 50 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, gives this deck a bench damage aspect, which it didn't have before. The attack is a bit costly, but this deck with Kiawe and with Max Elixirs and Baby Volcanion, attaching energies is not that big of an issue. And you also have Starmie in order to use steam ups all of the game and also guarantee your energy attachments. But you also have Phoenix Burn, which deals 180 damage and has the same drawback as Volcanion-EX's attack. You can't use Phoenix Burn during your next turn. You do have the option to use Sacred Fire, and 180 damage is a very magical number. And being able to do that, even when you're not using steam ups, is actually really, really good. So yeah, I feel like Ho-Oh GX should put Volcanion at the top of the pack in this new upcoming format for Worlds, and probably post-rotation, Ho-Oh GX will be featuring in a lot of decks as well, especially when you combine it with the new Kiawe. Now, Kiawe allows you to search your deck for up to 4 fire energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then you shuffle your deck and your turn ends. However, pulling this off on turn 1, thanks to Tapu Lele, is really, it's not easy, but it's very viable, and it's a really nice strategy to power up your Turtonator or your Ho-Oh GX in order to start smacking your opponent's Pokemon. Turtonator, also a pretty solid card. Shell Trap allows you to slow down the game a little. Bright Flame allows you to go super offensive and get some good knockouts. And even Nitro Tank GX acts as a late game Kiawe as well. I didn't mention Ho-Oh GX's GX attack simply because it's really bad. Eternal Flame for the cost allows you to put 3 fire Pokemon, GX or EX, from your discard pile onto your bench. However, there's nothing that can really abuse that, at least not right now. We'll have to see if in the future, if any future sets actually allow you to really use Eternal Flame, but for now it's pretty much a non-factor. And then we have the regular Volcanion EXs with Steam Up and Volcanic Heat, which we all know and love. We have the Baby Volcanion in order to power up our stuff, and we have the 1/1 Starmie line in order to use Space Beacon and recover energies, as many as possible. So yeah, we have 4 Brooklet Hill for consistency and to search out for the Staryu, and our Volcanion EXs, that way our Ultra Balls can go towards Lele, towards Baby Volk, or the Ho-Oh or Turtonator. We have 3 Elixir, which is like the middle ground between not maximizing the count in order to not have too many item cards against Carpenter, but also having enough where they're actually useful. We also have 13 Fire Energy to make sure they always hit. And then we have our regular supporter line for Sycamore 3N and 2 Guzma. We'll be seeing this as a new supporter lineup, or we might even see a 4-4-4 even after we lose via Seeker. But for now, since it is available, 2 Guzma should be enough, as it really pairs well with Volcanion and with Ho-Oh. We have 3 via Seekers, 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Switch, and 2 Float Stone to make sure that Guzma doesn't hurt us, and to make sure that the drawbacks from Volcanion's or Ho-Oh's attacks also don't hurt us. We have 1 Rescue Stretcher in order to recover Starmie pieces or to bring back a Volcanion which got discarded to a Sycamore or got knocked out. We have 2 Field Blower to make sure our abilities are in play all of the time, and we have 2 Fighting Fury Belt in order to increase our Pokemon's HP and therefore take as many hits as possible. So that's the deck list. Let's jump into the ladder and see how we do today with the deck. Yeah, this is the deck list plus Volcanion. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay. So yeah, we might be up against a mirror match based on the coin. We are going first, which should be pretty good, especially if we're able to pull up the turn 1 Kiawe, and wow, this is probably one of the best hands you could actually hope for with this deck, potentially. The only thing I would want is an extra Pokemon, just to be able to attach the Fire Energy too. But there you go. There you go. So I'm not going to attach the tool cards just yet. And using up, okay, there were 10 energy, 10, 11, 12. So there's 1 Fire Energy. Using our first attack or our first knockout on a base bulk is not ideal. We would prefer to use it on a GX, but I mean, we'll take this. We will definitely take this. Let's see what's priced. Float Stones are not priced. 1 Sycamore is priced. 1 BS, oh no, Sycamore we have in hand. 1 BS Seeker is priced. 1 Ultra Ball is priced. 1 Field Blower is priced. Yep. 1 Volcanion-EX is priced. 1 Fire Energy, and then something else which I cannot remember. However, we got the pretty much perfect, not perfect, but all close to perfect turn 1. My opponent might respond with a Kiawe of his own, and that would actually be a little bad, I think, simply because he's hiding behind the baby Volcanion, and I have my whole GX a bit vulnerable there, and I don't have a way to go after his whole GX. If I had a Guzma here, that would be amazing. But yeah, looks like we're going to see the exact same thing happen from my opponent. We see the Ultra Ball into Lele, into Kiawe, into powering up Hole. So a pretty much perfect mirror match here. Pretty much a perfect mirror match. Retreating Hole would be kind of bad. Yep, there's a Lele for Kiawe. And yeah, this is where things get a little bit dicey. If I had my own Tapu Lele, that would be amazing. And I can still top deck it. I have 3 Ultra Ball, I have 2 Lele. Well, 1 might have been priced. That might have been my last price. Okay, so my opponent decides to attach the Fine Field Belt, which I did not do, but I do have it. Based on that, I won't be able to knock out the Ho now, because I can't top deck Guzma and Field Door. And okay, so the Brooklet Hill will also help my opponent, which is not ideal. So I really don't know what I should do here. Should I go passive? Should I go aggressive? I feel like going... I don't think I can afford to take this knockout when my opponent's whole GX is trailing me so bad. He did have a Guzma though, so I'm gonna do the same play. However, I will retreat. There's no big difference in dealing damage to that Volcanion, like dealing extra damage right now. So I'm just gonna use my energy attachment there. I do find another Volt. I also find a Max Elixir. And now I wish I had... I'm not gonna steam up just yet. I wish I had a Search for Staryu now. Okay, but I have the Guzma. I have the Guzma for next turn. So once I deal 190 damage to his Ho-Oh, I can take advantage of that and then Field Blower later on, right? That is something I can do. He might do the same play though, because we did see him discard a Guzma, so he might use the Guzma instead. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but a very interesting mirror match. Very, very interesting mirror match for sure. There's a Float Stone. So yeah, pretty much identical setup. However, he is going to go for the knockout. I don't agree with that play. I don't think I can agree with that play. Now we're only a field blower away from. We are only one field blower away from knocking out the hole. So I'm gonna thin on my deck. Gonna discard the Guzma, which I no longer need. And I'm tempted to go for the Volk. Both Lele's are there. One field blower is priced, so that could be an issue. That could be an issue since we have no way to guarantee that. I guess I'll grab the baby Volk. Yeah. And then the energy should go to whom? Probably baby Volk or probably Volcanion-EX. I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, never mind. I can just team up. Duh. Now I'm dealing to 20. Now all I need is another fire energy in order to get a knockout, which I'm hoping I can secure, or I can just find a field blower. So I have a couple of outs here. I do find the field blower. Is it worth it to play it, or should I save it? Because I did get the other fire energy. I feel like saving it is better here. And this should give me the win, I think. Now I'm dealing 250 damage with my Phoenix Burn, so I should get the knockout, yep. And we have Starmie to recover, so the other field blower is still priced, but that's pretty okay. We have Switch, we have Float Stone, we have Via Seeker for Guzma, so yeah. And we even had the free retreat Staryu. So yeah, my opponent definitely took a very, very big risk there. I actually think that was a very, very bad play. And yeah, we get some mystery box rewards. And let's find another match. Another match really, really quickly. And yeah, I mean, we got the ideal setup, of course, right? We definitely got the ideal setup. No complaints right there. We got the turn 1 Kiawe. My opponent also got the turn 1 Kiawe. We made the decision not to let our hull take damage. My opponent made the decision to start going on the offensive, and that definitely cost him the game. Like our hull was not threatened at all after that knockout, and he didn't. Oh wow! We can actually pull off the same thing. Too bad we're going second though. But yeah, I mean, why not? Why not do it? And we can actually power up the Turtonator on the bench. In the bench, on the bench, on the bench, right? Okay, and we're up against the Golisopod deck. So this should be, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but this should be a really good matchup. Now my opponent, he ends it, okay. He's not using the other Wimpod. If he was using the other Wimpod, he could have actually free retreated into Tapu Koko and would have been in a really good scenario, I think. But he chose not to do that. Now we lost. Oh no, there we go. We top deck the Lele. Okay. So we're drawing pretty well here. I'm gonna grab the Kiawe. However, I don't know if powering up Turtonator is the right play. So I think I'm actually just going to try to power up baby Volcanion, because that seems like a really, really good play with this double, and then I'm just gonna Kiawe. I don't know why it makes you choose all energy. There's 8 in the deck and 2 in play. That means there's 3 fire energy priced, which could be a problem. And yeah, I mean, we're threatening the Golisopod. The Golisopod is definitely not threatening us too much, at least not for now. He would need a crazy GX attack plus the CGI, and wow, he might actually get it. He might actually get it, never mind. It's not too far-fetched that he knock out our whole GX. We should be able to, well, we might be able to respond with our own Volk. With our own baby Volk. Did he whiff the CGI? Yeah, he whiffed the CGI, so he goes for the GX attack. But it does mean we're 10 HP away from we're one feather arrow away from getting knocked out, right? However, what we can do is simply Guzma. We can Guzma the Golisopod and take the knockout. So we're not advancing under our energy state, but we're so efficient here that just baby bulk should be enough. With a couple Volcanion EXs to just team up to make sure we get knockouts. There's an extra energy, so we free one up from the prize cards. And we have Sycamore, so if we don't get end, this will actually end up being pretty good for us, I think. And my opponent, yeah, he didn't play a supporter the previous turn. He doesn't play a supporter this turn either. I could consider ending, but it's better for me to just draw into cards in order to knock out that Tapu Koko here. So I need a Volcanion EX and a Fire Energy, or a Fighting Fury Belt. And I get neither. Oh boy. Yep, now Staryu might get knocked out here. This is not good. Taking out the stadium probably doesn't help me too much. I mean, I'll take it out anyways, but I don't think it helps me here. And attacking with Volcanion seems like an okay play, right? Does seem like an okay play. I want to discard the Sycamore and the Lele. Those are 2 outs for sure. However, I do have 2 Via Seekers in my hand as well. And yeah, dealing 100 damage is not significant here, so I'm gonna Power Heater only for 20, but I do get 2 energy into play, into my 2 fire type attackers, which is really good. Losing the Staryu won't help my opponent too much. I mean, it does leave my energy situation in a kind of precarious position, but it should be fine. It really should be fine. Okay, here's the Ultra Ball. Discarding Choice Band and Revitalizer. There's the CGI, so we'll get a knockout, yeah, on my Staryu. And he will end me, but that's fine, I think. That is actually a-okay, as long as we don't draw too badly. And yeah, this is perfect actually, because I can, like, I don't mind the Tapu Koko. I can just steam up and go after the CGI GX with my Volcanion. I'm not sure if that's the exact right play, because I'll be left without draw. Yeah, actually I should go after the Golisopod. That's the play here, because the Golisopod is the thing that deals damage right now, right? So all I need to do is team up once and promote my Float Stone Turtonator. I'm leaving a bench space open. Why? I don't know, in case I get the Rescue Stretcher to get back the Tapu Lele. And let's just take another knockout with Steam Auxiliary. So yeah, weakness playing a really big factor here. We get an Ultra Ball and we get a baby Volcanion. We don't have Lele in the deck, so the Ultra Ball actually doesn't turn into a win condition. No stadium for my opponent. I went after Golisopod because the extra damage from the CGI is annoying, but it's not game-changing, whereas Golisopod could have just knocked out my baby Volcanion and I would have been in a pretty bad position after that. We see a Guzma, but we do have the switch, which is really nice. And my opponent decides to retreat into the Dark Tricks. That's an interesting play. Looks like he's going to try to target down. Oh no. Well, that was a mistake. My opponent should have retreated first, then used the Guzma. So that was a big mistake by my opponent. Big mistake. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to thin up my deck as much as possible here. I'll grab the Ho, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to send, well, I guess it does matter because Brooklet Hill could send out another bulk, but I'm just gonna switch here and I'm gonna take the knockouts. And I could have used my Nitro Tank GX attack, but I can still do that later. Volcanion, like I said, is not really threatened by anything, and we do get rid of the Tapu Lele, which, I mean, the damage wasn't game-breaking, but it was placing a lot of damage counters. And my opponent just promotes outright the CGI, so with this team up, we have the win here. Now, my opponent might end us down to 1 card once again, but we do have outs, I guess. But no, he decides to go for a Sycamore, so that should be game. Baby Volcanion being the star of the game. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'm very hesitant to consider Golisopod for Worlds. Yesterday the deck worked pretty well, the Golisopod deck that we featured. If you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely go check out the video. However, Volcanion is very, very strong right now, so I'm not entirely sure how viable the Golisopod deck will be for Worlds or for the Anaheim Open, simply because there will for sure be Volcanion. Like, there's no way there isn't any Volcanion. And my opponent actually, okay, first there's the Rescue Stretcher, which we could have used for Lele, and my opponent already used the GX attack, so the CGI actually was never going to be able to get back cards, and there's a victory. There's a victory. So yeah, let's try to play another game. Let's try to play another quick game. Yeah, pretty good. The deck's running really, really well, of course. The deck's running really, really well. And yeah, let's hope we find. There we go. There's our opponent. I really like the combination of colors, like with the black and brown orange-ish for the new set. I probably want to take a print screen of that to keep that color palette in my repertoire. Okay, so double Lele start. Double Lele start is really bad for this deck. I mean, I can Brooklet Hill a Volcanion, and then with that Volcanion, get and use Lele, Kiawe the Volcanion. However, I don't think that's a good play. I mean, I definitely Brooklet Hill here. That's the first thing I do. I Brooklet Hill and I check my deck. I will get the Volk. And I'm very tempted to just Sycamore away these cards. Maybe I should get Staryu actually, just because I can evolve it afterwards. And yeah, well, see, the thing is, I'd be losing my max elixir, so never mind. I'm gonna go Volk. Now let's figure out our prize cards. There's no Pokemon prize as far as I can see. There's one Field Blower. There's one Ultra Ball, one N, 9, 10, 11, and 2 Fire, and something else. I'm always missing one card, but that's okay. I don't know what the card is. Okay, so let's try to get the elixir. We do. Actually do, and then we're gonna attach energy there. We're gonna play another Lele. We're gonna grab a Sycamore, and we're gonna play a switch, and we're really gonna threaten my opponent's Tapu Lele for next turn. And yeah, we're hoping to get some good cards out of the Sycamore. We do get some really good cards, and I even find the Fighting Fury Belt, so that means I only need 1 Fire Energy. Yeah, I got a pretty good setup here. I'm not gonna play the Fighting Fury Belt. I don't know what I'm up against, and I don't know, like my opponent might be tempted to Field Blower away the stadium, so I wouldn't mind keeping the Fighting Fury Belt, and it's not essential to have it. Like, that means I only need 1 Steam Up instead of 2 to knock out Tapu Lele. But there's also a chance my opponent doesn't end, and he just goes for a turn 1 Bridget with his Lele here. So double Lele start for both, that seems fair. That seems pretty fair, in my opinion. Yeah. That seems pretty fair. Okay, so my opponent taking a while probably to figure out his price cards. Maybe having a hard time deciding what to get. Wow! What? Did he run out of time? Did he actually just run out of time? Okay. So I'm gonna Ultra Ball. That's the second switch we don't get to use. Wow. Yeah, my opponent might have just like given up. I don't know if I want to Brooklet Hill for another Volcanion-EX. Yeah, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to Sycamore, and yeah. We need one fire energy, thanks to Starmie. And yeah, there it is. Just one fire energy, that is enough. So I'm gonna steam up, and then I use Space Beacon. I get rid of the Ultra Ball. I get back both fires. And I feel like I should bench the baby Volcanion here. And we're just gonna have Volcanic hit for the knockout. We do have Cosma in our discard pile. We have Starmie as a 1 energy cost retreated, or Tapu Lele, so we should be good here. We should be good. And I really feel like my opponent is AFK. I do feel like my opponent is AFK. After he whiffed the Lele, he just probably timed out. So Rancarlo 2017, yeah, he's definitely timed out. I don't want to concede. But this is obviously a pointless game. So yeah, guys, I mean, we did see the deck work pretty well in the other 2 matches, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna steam up once. Wow, actually, can I Guzma here? I don't think I can Guzma. I actually don't think I can Guzma, right? Because I cannot choose one of my opponent's benched Pokemon. Yep, I cannot Guzma, so I haven't won yet. Okay, I'm just gonna pass because my opponent is not doing anything. And it'll be 30 seconds or so during his turn, and then we win. So yeah, I don't want to make the video any longer, guys. Sorry you had to endure this dot game. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this Volcanion list is a very solid place to start off with. Has a double. We did pull off the turn 1 Kiawe. We could have pulled off the turn 1 Kiawe the previous game. I mean, this game as well. But we were forced to try to go for a bit more draw. And what else? Yeah, I mean, 2 holds. It's that you don't want to commit to too many holds. Turtonator is still really good as well. And yeah, okay. So now we just team up once and we take the win. So yeah, I apologize, guys, for this dot game. Thank you guys so much for being here. This will be the end of the video because I need to record the Spanish video. And I also need to record a lot of videos before I leave, because I leave this Friday for Anaheim for Worlds. So I'll be there a week early, and I'm trying to do a vacation, and because it's been a very long time since I've had an actual vacation where I haven't done anything Pokemon related. So I'm trying to do that as well. And yeah, so but I want to make sure that every single day of the week, including weekends, you have videos. So this will be all from me, guys. Don't forget to leave a like. Thank you so much for your support. And if you want more Volcanion videos or Volcanion action, you can watch the Spanish video as well. Thank you guys so much, and bye-bye.